Just go. Yep. That's fine.
We're good.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Facebook, and welcome to the Wow Show. With us today is myself, Bridgetti Banda, and I am from Cape Town in South Africa. Mary?
Yes. Hi, I'm Mary Elizabeth Jackson, and I'm in the middle of the United States.
Hey, I'm
Emily?
And I am in Atlanta, Georgia, so also southern middle. I don't know.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, are you south of the Mason-Dixon line? You're south of the Mason-Dixon line, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, I think you are. You're a Californian that lives in the South, so that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Welcome, ladies. So we will be joined a little late this morning or this afternoon, this evening by Sarah in Australia. We are a family show. We're a family-friendly show, and she's busy doing the mommy thing, taking care of her little ones, and we expect no less. So she will join us once she's taken care of her little ones, because it's always family first, right?
Absolutely.
And then we won't be joined by Kathy today, and we won't be joined by Donna-Marie. Our thoughts are with them. They shall be back next week, and we look forward to having them join us next week. But as I mentioned, we will be joined by Sarah very soon once she's taken care of her little ones, and we look forward to her joining us. Mary, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about dreams and pursuing them. And I think this should be kind of part two, because we've talked about this before a while back. I think I remember us talking about something like this. And so we're doing, So You Think You're Too Old. So that's our title for today. So, because you never know. I mean, I never knew at 50 I was going to have a baby so late in life and then start a career as an author. And I was watching a live yesterday of someone I know who's has a radio show in Florida, and he's in his late 60s, I think. Don't want to give numbers away, don't want to upset anybody, but he was interviewing a guy who was 91 who's looking for work as a voiceover.
So wait.
He's 91.
He had somebody that was 91 on a live show.
Yes, in the radio
Actually,
station.
You know what? I must tell you, I saw something on LinkedIn yesterday that kind of blew me away, and I left them a message, and I hope they will respond. But these are 4 or 5 guys who started a new business, and the youngest member is 75. I mean, like, seriously?
Love it. That's awesome.
The youngest one.
I know.
That's so okay, girls, we have a long way to go. We can just play the field for a while. We don't have to make any decisions, right?
Exactly. I mean, we're like 50 something, right? Well, me and you anyway.
Yeah.
But 75, starting a new business at 75, like, seriously?
I think that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love it. It's so inspirational though, isn't it? It like says, hey, when I'm that age, maybe I'll try something new, right? It doesn't make you think you're going to be just sitting around doing nothing and depressed or whatever. It happens to a lot of people when they stop working and they retire and they don't keep themselves active. Depression sets in for a lot of them, and it's really sad. But I know that we also, I think as women, and I'm not sure about how it is for men, but I know for women, even though we're moms, because all of us on this show are moms, I think we're probably always looking for or searching for an identity outside of being a mom. I mean, mom comes first, but then your spirit just says, I think I'm supposed to do something else than just be a mom. And so we have to listen to that inner calling and that inner you need to do something, because if you don't, well, it's just not going to leave you alone. So,
you know what? I also think the whole title of mom is so underrated, so undervalued, so underappreciated, and we need to raise that level of momdom. We need to kind of own it and embrace it and give it the value that it deserves. I mean, a mom encompasses so much. I mean, you literally, the CEO, the CFO, the everything of your family. You are what holds it together. you know. We are like the CEO in momdom.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And we
Hey,
undervalue
Sarah's here.
ourselves, you know. And I think, I don't know what you think, Emily. I think we to blame for that, because we start off conversations by saying, "Oh, I'm just a mom." You know, that is just so wrong. What does it mean to be just a
I
mom?
actually had
Seriously?
a really good conversation with my daughter while I was on my trip this last month. And I was telling her how, I was somebody before I became mom. And when I became mom, I had to pack some things away because now I'm setting an example. Now I'm molding a life. Now I'm creating this human, and I'm raising these human beings to be respectable parts of society. And what I've decided for me may not be what they would decide for them. And I didn't want to color what they would choose later on in life. But now they're almost adults. And now I get to unpack some of those things and really get in touch with who I was before, because that's still part of me. That's still stuff I want to do. It was just a pausing moment. And it was really a good conversation to have with my daughter.
Hey, Sarah's in.
Can we just say welcome to Sarah?
Hi, Sarah.
Hi,
Hi,
Mommy.
guys. Sorry I'm a bit late. I was very much in the midst of doing that mom thing.
Yes, we applaud you. Hey, you know what I want, Sarah, tell everybody where you're from. Where you're
from
piping in the down
Brisbane,
under.
Australia. Yeah.
Yes. And you know what? I was going to tell Emily, because Sarah, I don't know if you were listening before you came in, but we're talking about how we're supposed to be talking about dreams and following dreams. We've gotten a little bit onto how we kind of get short-sighted as moms in the sense of what our title means. And my stepfather sent me this thing. Emily, Emily will love this. We just want to see the paycheck. But if you add up everything a mom does, the value of it a couple of years ago was about $150,000 is what we'd make a year. We could all use that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? I don't think we've deviated from the topic, Mary. I think we've kind of
No, I'm
segued
kidding.
into it, because it kind of just, I think there's quite a good correlation between our dreams and the whole concept of a mom, what it encompasses, that role. But while you guys are carrying on, I'm going to appear a bit distracted, but that's because I'm doing some housekeeping here. So I want to ask you all, if you're watching the show, kindly please share, because that's what we're all about, right? We're sharing our lives, and so we're asking you to share that if you are in the audience.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm sorry, Bridgetti, I didn't mean to say we got off. It's interesting though, because like Emily said, we do kind of pack those dreams away. And so as the kids get older, you can pull some of those out of a box or a hat or under your mattress, or I don't know, somewhere where it's buried deep, and go, hey, can I really dream again? Or you do have those moms who are plowing through the babyhood, and they're doing their vlogging, and they're doing all those things, and more power to them. You need a energy of an ever-ready bunny rabbit, but I know some women can do it, and I tried to do it. I had a couple of businesses when my girls were young, and I did it as best as I could. And, but now it's, totally different. And, before we finish up, I want each of us to tell people kind of where we're at, what we're doing, and where people can find more information, if they want to go to look or read what we're doing or follow. So we need to put that on here before we end.
Yeah. And I just really, for me, like, I think becoming a mom was my dream for a really long time. Yeah. And now that I've become a mom, that dream's kind of come true. And that brings with it it's like a whole bunch of realities that aren't exactly what you thought it was going to be, but still amazing. But it's like, then I went through this really kind of weird stage, and I'm still kind of going through it, where I'm like, okay, so what are my other dreams? Like, that was such a focus for me and something I wanted so badly. I just really wanted to be a good mom and a good wife. And it's like, okay, but what else do I want? And how can I help other people and not just my children? And it's been a real process of just kind of like learning to dream of other things and knowing that I'm capable of more than just being a mom. And like, what does that look like? And how do I want to help people? And that for me has been really just eye-opening, that I wasn't really giving myself much more purpose than just motherhood. But the stuff I'm learning in motherhood is actually what's giving me further dreams, because it's making me think I've been through stuff I don't want other people to go through alone. And I've learned things that I want other people to learn and not necessarily have to learn it the hard way like I did. And it's kind of become my driving force. But the freedoms, but like you're saying, actually playing that out is much harder than what I expected. Sorry. It's like now I have all these other dreams and no time. And so it's like,
that's what's really hard, isn't it? It's really, really hard to do the juggling. It may be easier for Emily. I don't know at this point, her kids are a little bit older. So I know it's not for you and me. Bridgetti has got more time on her hands. So she's pursuing things she never imagined, and she's loving it. So Emily, would you say that it's not as hard to juggle because your kids are more self-sufficient for you to do and pursue what you're pursuing right now?
Yeah, I still have stuff that I have to do, but I taught them to cook and how to do their laundry, and
go to the toilet.
If they want to go ahead and have cereal for dinner because I'm not cooking and I'm busy, that's fine. Go ahead and have cereal. You know how to make a 3-course meal if you want.
Yeah. You're not giving them popcorn. They could have popcorn too. That's what my neighbor did the other night. I was like, you had popcorn for dinner?
Our family is very, very close, and we spend a lot of time together, and we always have. And I think it was probably about 6 months ago that I mentioned, I was like, I think it's odd that you guys don't spend any time in your rooms, because when I was a kid, I would spend time in my room, but we would just always be together. And so now they've, made their rooms their thing, and they're going into their room, and it feels a little odd because they've not been away from us in so long. And they're actually starting to enjoy it. And it's good for them to know how to spend time by themselves.
Right.
And I'm finding out as we get older, and my kids are like 17 and 19, I'm finding out the things that I forgot to teach them. I forgot to teach them that it's okay to be alone. It's okay to have alone time. I learned on this last trip, I have no privacy. I mean, I will go into my room and they'll come in. They'll grab my purse and they'll go through my purse. I'm sitting there texting people and they're looking over my shoulder, watching.
Too close. Too close.
Well, wait, do they let you go to the bathroom though by yourself? Because you don't have that with toddlers.
No, you don't.
It's like
Dad gets to go to the toilet by himself.
I know. What is it? They're not fascinated with daddy pottying. It's only mommy pottying.
I know.
Here's a newsflash, Sarah. It doesn't get easier. I mean, my kids are adults, and they still think it's okay to bust into my bedroom.
What?
It's
so frustrating.
It's like you totally, as a mom, give up the minute you become a mom. You totally give up your right to any kind of
dignity,
whatever. It's gone forever. You never get it back.
And you know what? It's like I can tell Poppy to come here 20 times and she won't listen. If I go sit on the toilet, she'll be there straight away. It's like I should just try that next time.
Poppy, I have to go pee. Oh, Poppy, come on.
Get you changed. Yeah. So
frustrating. God. That's hilarious.
The joys.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. And Emily, I love that your kids are I love that about your kids, because the majority of teenagers want to go to their room and get away from everybody. And I know that happens for me, trying to pull my, come on, come back out here. Let's watch TV, let's do something together. Come on, and I wish it wasn't like that, but it's very typical for them to want to be in their rooms. Yeah. That's not unusual, but yeah, they do have to learn how to be alone, just like toddlers have to learn how to play by themselves instead of driving you crazy. Mommy play, which is so sweet. But you're like, okay, you got to learn a little independence here. And
we've been doing, have you guys heard of blanket time?
Yes. I love it.
Yeah, we've been doing that lately. Oh, such a revelation. Anyway, it's not about dreams, so I'll be quiet.
But can we as adults have blanket time where nobody has a blanket?
I would love that. You're not allowed to talk. What's that, Emily? Did you say something?
Time, but I want some.
Yeah, right. For me, blanket time is more like in the bed with a blanket on top of me.
Yeah.
For kids and toddlers, it's like you play on a little blanket and have quiet time with only like 3 toys or something. It's amazing, but it's really hard to start. Anyway.
Yeah, it is amazing, isn't it? Well, so Sarah, let's start with you because you're on camera right now. What dreams at this point right now do you have that you're pursuing? And then do you have some future ones, that you think, I mean, they may be revamped a million times by the time you get there, but kind of like right now, I mean, we know about Sincerely Sarah, but there may be people watching who don't know. So,
okay. So obviously, like I said, my dream of being a mom is still happening. It's not like you just have a baby, and I'm still kind of walking that one out. But the whole Sincerely Sarah page is kind of just, I'm a thinker. I think a lot, and I really like to I don't know, I was going to say just like suck the life out of life. You know what I mean? I want to get all the lessons, all the wisdom, all the experience, everything I go through, I want it to not be for nothing. I want someone to be able to benefit from it, including myself and my family. And so that's why I started Sincerely Sarah, because I would just kind of write thoughts and posts and turn them into quotes and whatever. And a few people said to me, you should start a page, which I felt was quite arrogant. And so I never wanted to do it. But then more and more people said it to me, and then I thought, well, I believe that God made everyone with a gift. Some people are doctors, and mine seems to be like just reflection or something. So why not turn it into something? But I felt bad about, I don't know. I got over that, and I was like, fine, I'll just start a page. And so I just post a lot of my thoughts, and I pray some mornings, and I say, God, what do you want to tell people today? How can I encourage somebody? And I just try to do that because I love people. So my next thing that I've thought I'd like to do is maybe make some desktop card things. They come in like little square and just have quotes, motivational quotes or inspirational sayings on there. And even just compiling all of my Sincerely Sarah posts over the years and turning maybe that into like a journal.
absolutely.
So like a devotional or something, and then writing. And funny, actually, I was at I've been feeling a bit weird about the whole thing lately, and what am I wasting my time? And I went to this conference on Saturday at my mum and dad's church, and this woman came up to me and she said, she's like, you don't know me, but I know that you're Sarah, and I just want you to know I watched a video of yours on Facebook. There was like 700 women at this conference, and she just walks up and says, I had to tell you I watched a video of yours on Facebook a few weeks ago or a month ago, and it really changed me, and it helped me, and it spoke to exactly where I was at. And I just want to say thank you. And I was like, oh my goodness, like you don't know if you're helping anyone. Like you can't go off people's reactions. You just have to go with your gut, I learned. And so part of pursuing that dream is learning to trust myself and learning to trust that like maybe I do have something to say, even if I'm not 100% sure. And then a few hours later, another girl came up to me and said, I just want you to know I'm in the process of compiling every one of your Sincerely Sarah statuses into a journal for you. And I was like,
wow, that's big, Sarah. That's huge.
Yeah. So that's a girl I went to high school with, and I never get to see. But the kindness of someone doing that made me cry. Like I was like, she just said, I believe in you, and I believe in what you have to say, and I want to encourage you. So I think right now pursuing a dream is actually just getting comfortable with the dream. And like,
very good.
I think that's a big stage of it.
That's awesome. Fantastic.
I think it's an important part of it. And if you don't get fully comfortable with it, you'll never be really convicted about what you're doing. And then you
have to call yourself that. You have to state it. And I had to learn that too, because, I got this book published and I didn't call myself, I didn't tell anybody. Yeah. I was just like, I just didn't say anything, and then it was like, oh, so I actually have to call myself that to make it happen. You know what I mean? It's like solidifying it. So it's kind of, it's an interesting thing. Yeah. So I think that's awesome. I'm so excited for you. And remember, I told you to go into a bookstore or wherever, even, do y'all have Lifeway Christian over there? The bookstore. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to go into a Christian bookstore, that's fine, or wherever you want to go, and look and see what you're doing, and look at the publisher on there, and then go look them up and see if they take submissions from unagent, if they take open submissions from just anyone, because you don't have an agent. So some, you know, a lot of these big publishers won't even look at your stuff. You can't submit unless you have an agent. So that's what you need to
Mary,
do.
I want to just pick up what you said just now.
Mm-hmm.
You were saying that it was as if you had to give yourself permission to call yourself an author.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's kind of an important point, because the narrative that we give ourselves, not that someone else gives us, the narrative or the label that we give ourselves is what we inadvertently portray to the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
And it's almost as, you know, if somebody devalues who we are or what we do, it's because we've given them that permission to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to decide that if we're a mom, and Sarah, before you joined, we were talking about calling ourselves just a mom. By doing that, you're devaluing yourself, your role. We were saying, you know, that if you are a mom, you are the CEO of your nucleus, your family. You determine and you shape the lives of the people around you. Yeah. So perhaps whatever it is that we do, we should own it and not devalue ourselves before anyone else has even had the opportunity to see who we are.
And I think when you become fully comfortable with that, whatever role it is, someone's criticism can't just like knock you off your path, because you've taken the time to embrace what you're doing. What's that, Em?
I found that in this portion of my life, when I'm going on to bigger things, or not bigger things, because being a mom is like the biggest thing, in my opinion, that you can do. But a lot of people will think what I'm doing is more important than what I think, kind of along the same lines. And I find that they don't devalue it. It's just like they say, oh my gosh, you're doing this amazing stuff. And I'm like, really, I'm not doing anything at all. And we are the ones that sit and put us down. When if we saw it from somebody else's eyes, it would be huge. You know, it's just because we're living in that day to day.
Absolutely.
We don't see it as something that's drastically different than what everybody else is doing, because it's normal.
Right. Like, I just feel like I'm just doing what I feel led to do, and following a dream and pursuing it. And I've had people say that to me too. And I'm like, really? And then sometimes I just sit and think and go, you know, I guess it is kind of a lot. And how do you do it? And it's kind of crazy too, you know, because I mean, I've got my 4-year-old chasing around. I got a 16-year-old, I got a 13-year-old trying to live that life, and then find time to write for things to be produced and published in a way that I'm hoping it's putting good content out there. I mean, I'm not doing this just to write, you know what I mean? To like see myself do something. I'm trying to create really good stuff that's going to help others, or put joy or happiness or whatever it is out there, you know, that is intended with the words. Like Sarah says, I sit there and I pray, God, what do you want me to write today? What is it you want people to hear? Because these are your words. I am the physical expression of your creation through me. That's what I am. So I am a vehicle or a conduit for that to come through. So when you do that, your ego there's no ego there. You know, there's no agenda where you can get in the way of what really needs to flow out into the world, because we do all have a purpose. We do all have an inner light, and not everybody's is going to be the same. Like all of us, we're all kind of, you know, we're all doing different things. I mean, Emily, you're trying to pursue creating a business right now. You know, you just took off on this huge trip across the country. Yeah. See, look at Emily. She's exhausted from it. And
but she looks friggin' amazing.
Yeah, she does. I know. She always looks good.
Did you wake up like that, Emily?
Yeah, this is my.
That's her. I know, it's all full and fluffy. She didn't even tease it, right?
I know. I'm like, no, can't do it.
She's wearing her hair. Yeah, mine's like flat. I'm like, can I borrow some of her hair? I'm going to kind of glue it right here, you know. But yeah, so Emily's been like across the country trying to promote her business. And I mean, that's a huge undertaking, and it's been crazy. And we've watched her along the way, and some of it's been awesome. And like Christmas vacation, it's been like some of that too, right, Emily? I mean, it has to. You can't travel without those crazy things happening, right?
Wow. Yeah. Every time somebody's like, so did you enjoy your vacation? I was like, look,
vacation.
It was work. It was not vacation. If it was vacation, I would have a glass of wine in my hand on the beach every single day. Okay.
Thinking you're in a car with your 2 kids for a month, that is not a vacation. That is testing and like growing. That's like therapy.
We've had some really good conversations on this trip. It's been
awesome.
It's been bad and it's been good, and we got a lot of it on film. I have evidence that my son tried to kill me while he was driving. So
okay, tell us what happened.
It's so funny because my son's a new driver, right? And if you know some of the things that we've been through, you know that he has extra challenges when he's driving. And so I'm constantly feeling like people are thinking that I'm just being a mom, like, oh my gosh, she's doing this, and you got to slow down, and you're too fast, and turn here, and blah, blah, blah. But because we're filming this whole thing, the last thing, I got a couple of things on film. The last one was he was getting off of an exit, and I'm like, you're going too fast, too fast, too fast. Why am I doing and he like hits the brake, is like,
he didn't hear you. You should have been sitting on the toilet. He would have heard you straight away.
Exactly.
Hey, is this Mr. Shatters, Mr. White? Like, is that your Robert in the comments?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Hey, we have Emily's husband on the in the comments. That's awesome.
Yay, I didn't even see him.
Pleased to meet you.
Yes, he's been there. He's been commenting.
He hasn't seen his wife he hasn't seen his wife in a month, so he's like, I'll find her in the comments.
I guess he probably figured, hey, if I want to see this chick, I better go onto a show.
I want to know what he thinks about Emily pursuing her dreams. That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah, I want to know too.
Okay, tell him to comment
about that.
You're welcome, Emily.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of interesting how it is a good question. How do the spouses feel about, you know, you've always been a mom, you have this area that you work within, and now you're trying to step outside of that area. It's a whole adjustment for the entire family. It's not just your own personal growth and stepping out and trying to trust that, is this what I'm supposed to do? Am I going to be any good at it? Is anyone going to like what I'm doing and support it? Because you don't know. I mean, seriously, you don't know. So, but you know, it's an adjustment for the entire family. I mean, we're still getting used to things here. And it's just think about that when you're pursuing your dreams. You know, you're going to kind of rock the cradle a little bit. So you want to make sure everybody's on board and supporting you as you go, as you go through it.
Well, Robert says it's amazing. So, Emily, he's got your back, girl.
That's good.
And I just want to say hi to my friend Carly, who just joined. She is the one who's doing the journal with all of my quotes in it.
Oh, yay. Thank you. Thank you. We want to tell her thank you. We want to tell her thank you for you.
Thank you for believing in me, Carly.
Yes, because we believe in Sarah. So,
okay.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
How we have this team here, and like your win, Sarah, is our win. Your win, Mary, is our win. Eddie is our win. Like, it's so nice to be able to celebrate and be happy for each other.
Yeah. And we're all on a different time frame of when people's successes will happen. So, but that gives us time to celebrate, right? Because if we're all having something happen at once, we can't like fully celebrate each other and our successes,
and we can inspire each other.
Yeah, which is what women should be doing. We have to empower each other. It's so important to do that. And, sometimes you have those dreams and you're terrified to tell anybody. You're like, God, they're going to think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Who am I? I am just living in the middle of the United States. I am a mom. This is what I'm supposed to be. And who am I to think I can go do anything? Sarah, you've talked about that, thinking, who are you to be able to do this? And I just think, we're all born with, okay, I'm moving my cords around. Sorry. We're all born with a spark of light that was given to us at birth and throughout our life. and things that happen in our childhood and with our parents or family members and school and kids and friends. I mean, it just gets beaten down and it gets dimmed and dimmed and dimmed because you start to buy into the words and belief systems of all the people who are around you instead of believing in what's put there for you to do, what God has intended for you to do, or whoever you believe in that's bigger than you, because there is something out there way bigger than any of us can ever explain.
So Mary, what is your biggest dream? Do you feel you're living that dream now? Is there still something that you want to achieve?
Oh yes. I don't want to ever stop dreaming, Bridgetti. I want to always dream big.
That's why we love you, Mary.
I just don't feel like you should never do anything small. I know that may sound stupid and pie in the sky, but we have one life. So let's make it worth it. And we leave a legacy behind. And hopefully we leave things, like Sarah said, we leave things behind for other, like our family members that will help them. And so we can be way showers and tell somebody, hey, don't do that, because this is what's going to happen. You know, go this way. This is a lot easier. You know, don't do it like I did it, you know, or do it like I did it because I learned my lessons along the way. But I mean, my dreams are okay, so since these doors are opening up, which let me tell you something, I had no idea this was the plan for my life. Right? You hope and dream and wish about things. And my plans years ago are totally different than what I'm doing now. But, you know, my goal is to get a middle grade reader published and get that going with a series for ages 8 to 12 or 9 to 12. And then we're writing that into a movie treatment. I want to turn it in. We're writing it into a screenplay for a movie. So we're super excited about that. I mean, I didn't think about this stuff even 6 months ago. You know what I mean? So I think that once you get into it, it's like you, Bridgetti, and even Emily. I mean, you're doing right now things you didn't see 6 months ago. You know what I mean? I mean, it just keeps growing and getting bigger. I want to do documentaries that I feel like are really important as women, as moms, you know, dealing with children who are, you know, who have disabilities and what it's like to live a life like that with kids who have extra needs. I mean, I have moms that go through days that I have no clue how they're getting through. I really don't. And so I think it's important to get that out in the world so people can understand what other people go through. But, you know, so my dreams are I hope to continue writing. I want to continue writing children's, middle grade readers. I have a couple that I'm working on, you know, whenever I have time, right? When is that? But, you know, some self-growth and my journey growing spiritually in my life and just the lessons I learned and the experiences I had who've kind of put me in the place where I am and made my belief system, what's kind of shaped it where I am now. So,
so Mary, so what I'm hearing from you is that we kind of learn to give ourselves permission to go with the flow. Absolutely. Other than to have this kind of set plan. I think that's one of the big lessons we learn as a mom, isn't it? That the one thing we can count on is change. There's constant change, and we learn to grow with that change. I mean, I don't think you planned to be an older mom, for example. That wasn't kind of in your plan, right?
No, I had no idea. I thought I was going through menopause, which I think I am now. So it sucks. It sucks. Sorry. But yeah, see, I thought I was going through menopause. I mean, I went to the doctor and said, I think I'm going into menopause. I'm in a lot of pain. I need your help. And can you tell me what's happening? And I don't know if I ever told you all this story, but he said, well, he did a urine test, which I don't show up pregnant between 5 and 7 weeks. And he said, I think you have a GI problem. You need to go to your doctor. So I went to my primary care and I was talking about how much pain I was in. And she said, well, let's do a radioactive dye test. You drink the drink and then they do the x-ray. And I was like, oh, well, okay. So then I came home and I just kept hearing the words, do not do this, do not do this, do not do this. And I was like, wow. Okay. But I kept being in pain. So like a week later, I called the doctor's office. Said, can you just do a blood test for me? Let's just, you know, humor me. And that was Monday. And on Tuesday, they called me at 12 o'clock and said, are you sitting down, Miss Jackson? And you know what that means. I mean, you're pregnant. And I cried and I cried and I cried. And my girlfriend who's from Australia, she called and, you know, you're crying, you can't talk. Yeah. You know, and she's like, what's wrong? I said, I can't. Why did I answer the phone? I have no idea. I think it's like a habit, right? So, I mean, that was stupid in the first place. So I'm crying so hard and she can't get it out of me what's happening. And I feel like I have to tell her so she doesn't think someone's died, right? So I tell her so she finds out before my husband does, which is really not a good idea, right? And yeah, I've never heard the end of that one. So and I told him that night we were at the softball field, and I said, well, my blood work came back, and he goes, yeah. And I go, we're having another baby. And he just went,
what?
He did not smile for 6 weeks. He did not talk. He couldn't. What are we going to do? How old are we? Oh my God, we can't afford it, you know? So, I mean, it was really kind of crazy, you know? And then and I went in with my ultrasound and I said, am I okay? Am I going to die? Am I too old to have a baby? You know? And they're like, lady, we have women coming in here at 50 on purpose to have kids. I'm like, they're crazy.
Wow.
So when I have friends and women talking about this going, oh, I'm 35, I think I'm too old, or I'm 40. I'm like, smack, you know, I'm a poster child. You can have babies till you're 50. My great grandmother did. Go for it. Have a team, make a baseball team, make a golf team, you know.
How old were you, Mary?
45 and then 46 when I had him.
Wow.
Wow. I know.
Was that even harder? Was that harder on your body? Like,
oh, so hard. I'm still recovering. I mean, he's 4 and I'm still trying to get because he didn't sleep for 2 years, you know?
Yeah. Right.
He didn't. So it was like Kathy's talking this morning about tingling in her head. I'm like, dude, I know what tingling is in your head when you haven't had enough sleep, you know?
You feel drunk.
Yeah. Oh, you totally feel
well,
drunk.
You've absolutely been awesome, Mary. I mean, what you've achieved, you've become an older mom, you know, and you've become an author while you have a little toddler. That is huge. That is huge.
So,
and Emily, so how have your dreams evolved over the years? I mean, do you have like a specific dream? Do you feel like you're living your dream? Do you still have dreams you want to fulfill?
Well, I forgot how to dream for so long because I went through so many stresses in my life that it wasn't even a question of, do you want to do something in the future? It was more just survival, just survive. And it wasn't until maybe last year before last, that I actually started dreaming again. And so all this stuff is really new to me. Before I had kids, I was a singer, you know, like I loved choir and show choir and wanted to go into theater.
I never knew that, Emily.
I forgot that I was an entertainer. And it wasn't until recently, one of my friends is like, you're an entertainer. Why aren't you entertaining? And I started thinking about that. And I was like, yeah, I am. And I'm not too old. Like I am of the firm belief that this day and age is perfect for anybody that wants to start anything. And so with live streaming and being able to do whatever you want without an agent or whatever. Yeah, I'm a business person. I love business, building it, but I want to do it through entertainment. And so this is really, really new for me and I'm really enjoying it.
So Emily, do you want to tell everyone what exactly you're doing?
So I'm building a media company, BLiveMedia, where we're streaming right now. And I'm also creating shows for that and networking, bringing people together so that basically what BLiveMedia is a place to find all your favorite live streamers without having to hunt them down. But I also am very passionate about people making money and not just creating themselves broke. So, you know, I really want to put something out there that teaches people how to brand themselves, how to monetize themselves. That's what we're doing.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. It's a lot of work.
And Sarah, I mean, I know you still got young children and that's pretty challenging. And I know you've started your Sincerely Sarah page that you spoke about earlier. Yeah. And I understand, you know, we all understand how challenging life is when you have little ones. There's very little room for you, Sarah. there's little room for you as Sarah Wiseman, because everything when your children are young kind of revolves around their needs. But that's what we all do. When we have children, we sacrifice who we are. Our goals and our dreams go onto the back burner because we're focusing on the lives of the new people we've brought into this world, right? But is it something that you kind of is possibly putting on the back burner for now that you would like to segue into the future?
I would one day like to write a book. Like, I know I talked about journals and stuff, but I'd like to actually write a proper book. I just kind of feel like I'm still writing it with my life, if that makes sense, because I'm still learning so much. And I don't know if I have all the info I'd want to write a book, but I just would like to, because a lot has happened in my life. And I'm going to say I'm only 30 because that is like half of a lot of people's lifetime. So I feel old saying it, but I'm only 30, but a lot has happened in that time that has taught me so much about loving people and loving myself and with my faith and everything. One day I just want to write and encourage women just that they can always feel loved and they can always love themselves no matter how they've been treated or no matter how they've treated themselves. And I don't know, I just want to help people. I don't want what I've been through to be for nothing. So you know what it's like, Bridgetti, when you've been through back pain and chronic pain and stuff. That's like a whole chapter for me. But then there's like parenting, and then there's everything I went through when I was younger and was destroying my life basically with substance abuse. And I just want all that to help somebody. I remember when I was in a really dark place years ago, I was literally in the fetal position in my room, like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. And it was like I saw this sea of faces of women who were just crying. And it was like I looked at them and thought, I want to get through this for them. Like, I want to get everything out of this for them, because I feel alone right now, but one day there's going to be other people feeling alone, and I want to be there for them. So I'd like to write a book so I can somehow encourage women like that.
And Sarah, I think you should, yes, you are the youngest between us, but you have got a phenomenal story. I don't think we've got time to kind of segue into that right now. I think in one of our future shows, we should pay a bit more attention to your journey, because I think you've got an incredible journey and story to tell. And I think we should definitely do a show sometime soon just to kind of go through your journey, because I think there are valuable lessons in there. We've had a couple of conversations amongst us and how your journey relates to the other ladies' children in our group, and how you can relate to what they're going through, because you're so close, you're closer to what they are currently experiencing. And so your lessons, even though you're the youngest in the group, are very, very, very valid.
Thank you.
Because you bring a dynamic into the group that the rest of us may have forgotten or overlooked. And all those experiences as a young person is still so fresh in your memory. So your experience is incredibly valuable to all of us, not only us, but everyone watching.
Thanks, B.
So definitely, I think we would like to hear some more of that.
Thanks.
Emily, do you want to tell us a little bit more about the Aliens and Safari show? I don't think you mentioned that. You mentioned BLiveMedia, but you didn't tell us about what you were doing, because you were away for a whole month, right?
Yes. So this was the very first, wow. I guess the easiest way to explain it would be kind of like a documentary for people that aren't aware of like live streaming and stuff like that. Is kind of how I explained it to everybody that I was on the trip with. But basically, Aliens on Safari is going to be a travel show for BLiveMedia, and it's going to be rotating hosts. We happen to be the first host of the show, and what we do is basically anywhere you go, if you're not a native of that area, you become like an alien. And we really wanted to go into different areas and get a look at, you know, like what the local customs are and everything. So Aliens on Safari. And we went around the United States. We went down to Louisiana, Texas, New Mexico, California, Oregon, and then on the way back. And we just met a lot of different creators. We met a lot of different kind of people. We've interviewed several different people who were, you know, close to a creator that we met. We went to, when we were in Reno, Nevada, we went to, they having downtown Art Town, and there was like a chalk festival. One of the food trucks down there the month before had been stolen and totally gutted, and the guy was like done. His whole career was done because he had no more money or anything like that. And they did a GoFundMe and were able to like get him back up and running. So this was like the first event that he had been to since his truck had been stolen. So we got to interview him, just like really fascinating things. So we went ahead and we documented all of this, our relationship, and now we're going to pass that on to somebody else. And then they're going to let us into their travels, their life. And we want to do around the globe, you know, and eventually down the road, we want to start like engaging the audience, like who was the best host, who was the worst host, have like a voting on that, and then send both of those hosts on the road together to do another episode. And just like so much that we can do with that. But it's basically the first Bubbler Media show that we're producing.
Cool.
Excellent, excellent.
Awesome.
I want to acknowledge a comment here from, so if I'm looking away sometime, it's because I'm trying to look at comments from our viewers.
Same.
So it's not that I'm ignoring everyone. I'm just trying to keep track of comments. There was a comment here from Dave Parkinson, and I think
Dave
that's
is a
Sarah, that's a
legend.
friend of yours, right?
Yes, I love Dave. He's such a sweet
So
guy.
Dave says, us men need to learn off you ladies and do this for screen real talk stuff. Like seriously, you're all amazing. Dave, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
that's
love you,
awesome.
Dave.
Hey, B, we haven't heard from you. We need to hear where you're at and what you're doing and, you know, what you're pursuing, because it's definitely not something you set out to do, but you're trying to really empower other women.
Well, we're kind of running out of time a little bit, so I'm going to try and nutshell it as best I possibly could. I've always had tremendous joy out of helping people. It's something that's always given me strength. And whatever that was, I'm a social entrepreneur, so I like getting involved in any projects that will help other people. And because I live with chronic pain and I've got fibromyalgia, my life kind of came to a dead halt for well over a year. I still am not mobile at all. Whenever I go out, I find it incredibly challenging. To give you an example, I went out with my husband for breakfast yesterday morning. And when I came, while we're having breakfast, all I could think was, I want to get back home. I want to get back home. This is too much. I can't bear to wear shoes on my feet. You know, if I'm not in a comfortable chair, if I'm walking for too long. So as much as it's great to leave my house for something like a cup of coffee or tea, I end up wishing that I could go back home after 30 minutes. That's just the way it is. So in terms of any projects that I was involved in, everything came to a dead halt. And after I had my second operation last year, because I had 2 surgeries, I had shoulder surgery and I had neck surgery. I had a fusion.
Oh, wow.
Whilst I was in recovery, I'm going to say rediscovered live streaming, because I previously was on Blab and then that kind of ended abruptly. And I rediscovered live streaming in November, December last year. And because I was in recovery and I pretty much couldn't do anything else, I spent a lot of time looking into live streaming. And to be honest, I couldn't even speak at the time because due to my surgery, my voice was gone. So if I watched some of my very first live streams, I could barely speak. It was hilarious. And the live streaming has given me an opportunity to fulfill my dream, and that is of helping other people. So I could pursue my dream of being a social entrepreneur through live streaming. It's opened up a whole new world to me. It's opened up new doors because I can do this within the constraints that I currently have. And my constraints are that I cannot really leave home, but I can do this from home. I've got a studio within my home. I've got a chair that is suited to my back and my body. I actually have a block underneath my feet, which allows me to have my hips level so that I can sit a little bit more comfortably, and there's not too much pressure. And my chair can swivel so I can move around. I limit the length of my shows so that I'm not sitting for too long. So those are all challenges that I have. I can't sit too long. I can't stand too long. I can't lie down too long. But these are all things I can work around when I'm doing live streaming. So live streaming in many ways has literally given me my life back because I was cut off socially because I don't really see people. And I'm just going to put this out there. When you suffer from a chronic illness, you're the one that's suffering from the illness. But I'm going to tell you something that may shock you. People get tired of hearing you have a chronic disease.
Yeah.
They get tired of something that you suffer from.
I call it drama fatigue.
Yes. It's insane. And the result of that is that you get cut off socially completely. You totally get cut off socially. And that has a lot of other ramifications. It leads to depression. It leads to all kinds of things. And that is why I say live streaming has saved me from myself. It's given me a new lease on life. I now feel that I'm a part of society again. It's not just saved me in that way, but I can better serve other people in the way that makes me happy through live streaming. So that in a nutshell is kind of where I'm at the moment. And I feel I'm in my happy space. I would never, if you asked me this 6 months ago, this is not something that ever occurred to me. It's not like I planned to be a live streamer. I didn't plan to enjoy doing live streaming. This is all new for me. But through live streaming, I've met you all, right? This is how we met. None of us have met in person. But in the last 6 months, if we look at our collective stories, we've all grown so much. It's been an amazing journey. And so I would want to say to everyone, if you're in business, if you're not in business, if you're an author, whatever it is you do, live streaming will help you take your career or whatever it is you're doing and amplify it. And it can take that beyond the boundaries of where you currently live, beyond the boundaries of your immediate community. You can literally take your book or your cause or your business worldwide now through live streaming. I've been asked to be a speaker on Ladies Go Live, for example, to represent ladies from the African continent. I would never have dreamed that in my wildest dreams. So it's been a phenomenal ride, really. It has.
I'm so happy.
And thank you for asking, Mary.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, I know we were all talking and we didn't hear your story, and everyone needs to hear your story. And so tell everybody where they can find you. And information about you and your water crisis that you're very proactive about, because you're really an advocate as well. And what you're doing with pain management with back, being a voice for fibromyalgia and back pain, and your water crisis, and various other things, just even your country, you're being an advocate for that, you know? So where can people go to find you?
People can find me. I've got a website. It's called Bridgetti.com, like in my name. I think everyone can see my name on the screen. So my website is Bridgetti.com. I've got a Facebook page, Cape Town Water Crisis. And something that there's so many exciting projects that I've started. There's Learn with Grandma, which is an initiative to bring together the older and the younger generation and tell digital stories. There's an initiative that I started to help people with math and science, to bring attention to math and science. That's a worldwide problem. Well, there's a whole host of things, but essentially my website is where people can find me. I think we kind of need to try and wrap up right now because we're on an hour.
Okay.
Is there anyone who's in info?
Well, where can people find info on Emily and Emily, where can people find what you're doing?
I'm Emily Shatters everywhere. So Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, wherever. Just reach out to me, ask me. I love making new friends. I'm a Snap fan, so that's if you want to be my real friend, that's where you're going to have.
Those filters, I tell you.
Well, what about Aliens on Safari? You're doing a whole thing on Safari. With that.
Yeah, go ahead, and there's a page for Aliens on Safari and a page for BLiveMedia, and we're actually going to be holding contests for Aliens on Safari coming up now that I'm home, and I can put the commercials together and I can put the promos together, and we can get the contest up and running. I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to get creator sponsors for some of the gifts so that we can get everybody to know the different creators and get some goodies from them, and a lot of good things happening. So look us up, reach out to me, Emily Shatters, Aliens on Safari, BLiveMedia, all on Facebook. And that's
BUBBLRMEDIA. There's no E in there, so people know.
Exactly.
Yes. And Sarah, where can everybody find your beautiful post and words and encouragement?
Well, my name is Sarah Wiseman, but I have a page called Sincerely Sarah, which you should just be able to find if you search for it. And I have an Instagram account. If you look up hashtag Sincerely Sarah, you should be able to find it. And then you won't have to worry about searching for underscores and things like that. But yeah, just hashtag Sincerely Sarah on Facebook or Instagram. You'll see one of my posts there, and that will link you to my account.
And Mary, where can people find you?
Okay. Well, I've got a Facebook page for my book, Perfectly Precious Poolicious. I have a website, maryejackson.com. I'm on Instagram and Twitter under my name, Mary E. Jackson. Next book in the series is coming out December 21st this year. You can go to Amazon and buy it, Kindle. You can get it at blackrosewriting.com, who is my publisher. And I'm hoping to help Sarah get her stuff together and maybe be able to find her a publisher, which would be really awesome. I would love to do that. If anyone's interested in writing, you know, I really want to help others with that writing process. I know Emily's kind of delving into it, and Bridgetti, you have a great story that could be a book. There's a book and everybody. So, you know, I think it's important to get that out there, however you can get it out. So, and then you can find us here Sunday morning, 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern. It's 1:30 your time, right? For you and DM, is it 1:30 or 2:30?
It's 1:30 for Donna-Marie and it's 2:30 for me.
Okay.
And Sarah, what is it on your timeline?
10:30 p.m.
Yes.
Fantastic, ladies. We really need to wrap this up, and I think next week will be a full house again, right?
Yes, we should have a full house. I hope so. Yes.
Okay, everyone from Cape Town, goodbye. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.